Oh, hey guys, what's up? Eddie Aho here with KissAnalog.com, and we have the P2W thermal camera. It's from HSTools. Thanks so much for sending this out for free for me to show my viewers here. Guys, this is an awesome camera. Now, it's hard to say if somebody wants pistol grip or one of the little cameras that hooks on your phone or something like this, a standalone. So it's hard for me to tell you which one. But I love this. I've been using this for months on the job. I got to tell you, I've taken it to solar installation where I installed some batteries, and we had to reconnect cables and all this kind of stuff. Had to make connectors. This is great to verify the connections running cool, that we made them right. There's not loose connections. It's 256 by 192 with the high resolution, super resolution. They call it super resolution image. There's a couple other cameras I've reviewed. If you've seen, I've done a little series doing the same thing I'm going to do with this one. And they had the super res where they double the resolution, they say. This one almost triples. Not quite, but almost. So super high. I'm going to show you the rest of the specs when we come over here. The one thing I do want to point out on this one that's also unique with this than other cameras, it's all one piece camera like this one. This one I bought for the channel back when I started, 220 by 160. I believe in thermal cameras. They're so useful. That's why I bought this one. And I paid quite a bit for this back when I bought this. I thought it was really cheap for the resolution. Even today's resolution compared to the big names, this is still an awesome one. They've updated this one to a new one. But this guy is fantastic. One of the things it does that I haven't seen is it has a zoom mode, okay? So maybe I've missed it on some of the other cameras I looked at. I don't think so, but this one has a zoom mode. So there's another camera that had macro mode where you get real close to I could get right down close to the board and zoom in or focus. This one, I could be out like this and zoom in. So we'll show you that, all right? Right now, this has been my go-to thermal camera. So, yeah, let's come over here to the bench. I'm going to show you the setup and everything, and we're going to look. It's a real challenge for a thermal camera because the board is really teeny. This big board you're looking at is a carrier card. The board we're looking at is just a little thing, a little bit longer than an inch probably on top. It's called a 16th brick. This is a half brick. Full brick would be twice as long. 8th brick would be half as much as this. That guy's 16th, so you could put 4 of them on this guy. Okay, so it has 4 GaN FETs and 2 inductors, and a bunch of capacitors and real teeny parts. But the biggest parts are the inductors. They're easy to see, even with a like I can see them great with this. The FETs, the GaN FETs. They're really small. They're the size of probably a, 1210, 2512 resistor. I don't know. Something. But they're very small. You'll see. I'll come over and show you. So to be able to see definition of those and the FETs, that's awesome. The next biggest thing is maybe the ceramic capacitors that go around the board. To see those, that's amazing. And then to see that little 04 or 06 resistors, capacitors kind of scattered around, to see those like I could on earlier camera, the Thermomaster, because it has that macro mode where I can get real close and focus. That's crazy. So wait to be impressed with this one. Come over to the bench. Let's take a look. All right, guys, so the P2W. This is a really nice tool, guys. Just show you the box. Okay. 256 by 192, that's the magic. Along with this 25 hertz, they go together. You'll see that. Now, 8 megapixels for the visual camera, that is amazing. You get 8 megapixel camera with this visual camera. Anyway, mine's 2400. That's typical with this sensor, what I've been seeing. 3.5 inch, awesome size screen. Super resolution mode, more than doubles this. So we're going to test that, see if that's true. Okay, so let's go ahead and now it is HSTools, okay? Let's go ahead and open this box. packaged nicely, as you can see. Now, right out the gate, you see this nice hard soft case, or soft hard case I call them. So they're hard, they're firm, they're protective, but yet they're soft, they're kind of gushy. Now, plenty of room to put everything in here. You can see that. Now, you get a charging cable. I've been using this for a little while, guys. I've had it on the job. Thank you for purchase. Nice touch. Okay. I mean, you know, a calibration certificate. You don't always get that, right? So, pretty cool. I mean, this is a high-end, you know, top-end camera for not a top-end price. I mean, it's higher than some of the others, but anyway, here's the handle, the wrist strap, and there's camera. I like to put it in like this so that's protected. Maybe I should put it in that way to protect the actual lenses. That might be a good idea. But anyway, I put it in this way, and then I dropped a rope across. So, you know, and then, yeah, you know, I guess either way is fine. But anyway, there you go. So, HSTools, you got your thermal camera, your visual camera, and a flashlight. We're going to check that out. So, it's kind of got a wedge shape on this end, and a little bit on this end. USB-C, and there's a couple of holes here. I'm not sure what those are for. But anyway, maybe it's for taking out, you know, temperature. I don't know. I don't know why they'd have that. I'm going to leave this protector on here because I like it. Protects it. Or down here in the bottom of the box, there's, I think those other pamphlets were in here to start with. And I spilled coffee on this because I've been going through it. You got your bar, you know, you'll want to scan this in when you're hooking up the camera the first time. So, just kind of show you what it looks like. It's not color. It's well written, easy to read, spaced out, you know, fine. All right, guys, one thing I have not honestly used enough of is there's a linear mode for color distribution, and then there's this histogram. And I think this is for more like transient, things that might pulse and get hot. I think that's what that's for. It'll capture the temperature and hold it there for a little bit. So that's something I need to experiment with more. Temperature measurements. You got a picture and video, right? Talks about how to record video. There's different ways to... guys, there's a lot with this camera. And device connections to your computer. So there's different ways to do it. Hotspot, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth. So this explains how to hook it up though. And maintenance, system settings. But you notice we're getting to the, we're going through safety now. Look, it's all in English. So the book is specifically made for language. So it's thick, but it's all English. So that really means there's some meat in there. So there you go. And you can download that too, which I've done. Hey, one more thing about this. When the camera's in here, I do put this in here. You can tuck it behind everything else. And because it's larger than the corners, that's why it's kind of flexed up like that. That's why it's dog-eared, because of me putting it in that pocket. And that's what it looks like when it's in the pocket. So there's still, you know, there's volume. There's still stuff that if you want to put some extra things in the pocket, I mean, you know, you can see me squishing it. There's room for more stuff. This half is completely full with the camera. Okay, guys, this is a half brick. That's a 16th. So you can see how you could put that little card there. There's room for 4 of them on here. All right, so this is the power coming in, and there's a few support capacitors and stuff on this carrier card, and then this goes to the load. Okay, so I'm going to apply power, and I'll tell you how many watts. I've done this setup before, shown everything, so we're going to just jump into this, turn this on, get it heated up, and see how the camera works. All right, guys, see right there, there's 2 of the FETs, 1, 2, and there's 2 more, and we have our 2 inductors. Okay, really small board. You got all these support capacitors around the side, and yeah, really tiny. It's a challenge for any thermal camera. All right, guys, I knew you'd want to see it, so Here's the leads from the board coming up into this power supply, and it's, you know, the camera, if I put my hand out here, sometimes it'll focus on my hand and it will stop doing that ripple. But 38.7 watts, 27 volts, okay, 1.44 amps, essentially. After the Uni-T puts power in the board, we go to the load, red and black wire from the board, 11.77 volts, essentially, 3 amps we're pulling into the load. So yeah, there we go. That's how we get our wattage. Okay, guys, let's turn on the power of this thing. Comes up pretty fast. All right, so there's the board down there, okay? Now, if I bring this camera up here, everything is pretty well focused right there. So we'd have to, you know, I can't zoom in on screen like this, but if we took that picture and then we could zoom in on that, we'd have a pretty good definition, it looks like to me. I can see all the little capacitors around the side. So when I get closer, some of that stuff starts to get out of focus. And I can still see the big parts, the 4 FETs and the 2 diodes, right? So I can still see the major parts. So that's a pretty good image. I mean, I can get close, and then I can hit this second button up here, okay? There's power on button. Here, this button I can take pictures, and every so often you'll see it stop and calibrate the image. So there you go. So this one doesn't get as close, like really zoomed in, but I think about here we get pretty good resolution. I'll take a picture of that. So I'd say we're about 8 inches off the board. The one camera I have that I can get real close and just fill up the whole window and have it all focused really well is one with the macro lens. Okay, so that's what you want to look for that. Let me zoom in on this so you can see that. Now if I pull it up away, right about there maybe, about 8 inches off. So yeah, right there you got pretty good definition. If I come up a little higher, the image is getting smaller. That's why this board is such a good test for a thermal camera. But I mean, it is tiny. Those parts are tiny, right? And the capacitors and the elements around them are really teeny. All right, now I'd like to take you through some menus, okay? You see a menu button right here? But also when I swipe down, it pops up with this, so I can quickly, you know, lock rotation, change the colors of the screen, you know, for that. I kind of like the dark, and you can change the brightness level here. You got Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, hotspot, and a flashlight. So you can see the flashlight, and you can kind of see it on my hand there. I got a bunch of lights in the lab. Okay, there we go. I turned away some lights, but you can see how it lights up the board from, you know, like let's say if I come from this spot, you can see the glare on the board. So here I'll turn on and off the light. Okay, that's off, and that's on. So yeah, interesting. I think that's for visual camera. Okay, then I just flick it away. But we got a menu screen, okay? Besides that, we also have this, the gear, the pictures. So if I go this guy, you know, albums, right? So I can go to albums, and I can look at all these things. So see all these images I've saved, okay? I can go back, and back again, and I'm back here. So then I can go to home, and I'm essentially at home right now. So I can go to the gear, and temperature measurement right here. We got a emissivity. I got it set for 0.91. And look at this. I love this, how they tell you you can do custom, but you can also choose PCB, ceramics, rubber. So I love this thing where I don't have to go look up on a chart somewhere. I can just say, oh, I've got white paper, 90. So that's really cool. Whoops, went too far. That was temperature measurement settings. And under here's the internet. Okay, turn that on. Hotspot, turn that on. Then I can hook it up to my phone. And Bluetooth, again, so 3 different ways. Okay, display settings. Time and date, I got that turned on. Parameters, that's on. Units, so temperature, I can choose Fahrenheit, Kelvin, Celsius. And distance. So right now it's in meters. I could put it on feet if I wanted. And okay, so that was units. Then I can go to screen brightness and change that there. Okay, so that was display settings. Capture settings. Okay, super resolution's on. We're going to try it on and off and see what that does. Visual image is 8 meg, but if you don't want big files, you can drop it down 5 or 2 meg. Still 2 meg high def for, you know, a lot of us, right? Capture mode, 1 image, scheduled capture. If you're on a tripod, which just does have the tripod mount. So if you're on a tripod, you want to set up a schedule. Maybe you want to record temperature change every 5 minutes or something like that. Edit before saving. You have that option. You can change the name of the file as it saves it. And an image, you can change what you want that to be. File naming, you got timestamp or numbering, okay? So, device settings, time and date, okay, date. So, very easy, bump. I mean, touchscreen makes this stuff way easy to set up, right? So right now it's 24 hour. I'm going to put on 12 hour. And that is not the correct time. It's late. I've been working. So PM 9 and 06. We'll set that. Okay, so now when I'm pulling my images off, I'll remember what time and I'll know all that stuff. Now save logs. Okay, so you got the time of day, you got auto rotation, and that's on. Auto power off, and let me see. So if we go to auto power off, we got close or 10, 20, 30, 40. It's every 10 minutes up to 60 minutes, or just off, which is what I have. And then about, so there's our information, firmware, so on, and save logs. So right now it's not on. Device initialization, so remove all measurement tools, format, restore device. So you got those options. Language, we got English, of course, but I imagine there's more than just French, isn't there? Okay, so that's local settings. We got all those. Okay, so we're back to here. All right, so now we went through those menus, right? And also, just to tell you, you can see the date and everything down here, mistivity. So it tells you what settings are. There's a box about that 1x, so you can click on that and you can change that scale. So you can go 3.3 and there we go. Now we're zoomed in. So, you know, before when I was trying to pinch, it doesn't do that. But look, if I do that, I mean, that's pretty good image, right? I can see the capacitors all the way around and everything. Let me try to hold it still. Okay, so that's pretty amazing, right? I like that zoom. And by the way, what did it go up to? Some crazy thing like 4.0. And then it tells you that to remind you. But yeah, there's the 4.0. Yeah, I mean, that is pretty cool, right? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to here, and I'm going to choose something a little bit less zoomed in. Maybe I'll go 3.0. So that way you can see that while I change these menus. Okay, so that's really cool. So you can zoom right from the screen that way, and then you can hit the menu button. And you get these things. Now let me move away so you can see it. Measurement, image mode, palettes, and level and span. Okay, so let's do that first. So it's on auto right now, okay? I can go to manual, and then I can say, you know, the temperature span I want, okay? But if I just leave it on auto, then I don't have to worry about that. I can let it span the temperatures that it sees, okay? Now palettes, we're gonna go through that in a minute. Let's skip that and let's go to measurement mode. Okay, so what we have is thermal, fusion. Well, here, you know what? Maybe it'll make more sense if I show you visual. So there's a visual image, okay? So I could take a picture of that. Now, you know what? What if I turn on the flashlight? Will that help? Okay, now I got the flashlight on. And yeah, does that help focus? Maybe I get a better f-stop or something. Okay, so I'll take a picture there. I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. Okay, so if I go back to menu and this image mode, okay, I come back up here so you kind of see the menus, the items. So we have visual, blending. Now blending, I can go 75, 50, or 25. Okay, we'll start off 75. Now what I was doing is blending the visual image with the thermal. Now I have to come up higher to get those things to collide, you know, to kind of merge. So right up in there, maybe, I'm not sure. It's hard for me to see with the camera. So on the tripod and everything. All right, so anyway, let's go back. And so that's blending, right? And then there's a picture-in-picture. Let's do that. And it's almost like a flashlight, like a thermal flashlight. You can shine it across the board, pick up things. Same time you can see the visual thing so you know exactly where you are, what you're doing. So that's kind of cool, right? And okay, I thought this picture-in-picture I could move around, but I can't. So this now fusion. Fusion's kind of like the blending, but it actually fuses the image together, so I don't have to worry about that parallax error. Okay, so the images should be on top of each other. I don't know if they are. What do you guys think? I'm going to take two pictures. I'm going to take one up here, and I'll take one closer. I don't think that works. I think you still have to be away from the minimal distance, which means I have to be probably a couple feet away, or at least a foot probably. So I'll go back to image and go back to thermal up here at the top. Okay. So now if I go back, so measurements. Now, this is the only place I see this camera kind of lacking. It doesn't give me a place to put a box or a circle or line or dot. It just has hot, cold, and center. I can turn them off. I can turn them on. So, and then they come up here and you can see it tries to find the coldest spot and the hottest spot and the center spot. Okay. So, yeah, where some cameras have boxes and circles and lines and all that, that's the one place where this one doesn't have what I've seen on some of the other cameras. Okay, so I went back. Now we're going to go to the palettes, which I held off. And it's kind of an arc, right? I'm on iron right now. That's what that is, so you can see iron. Okay, then we'll go to this one, the white hot. I like how they're labeled. So look at that white hot. That's pretty cool, huh? Okay. Then if I go back palettes, go black hot. What do you think? That's kind of cool. I mean, you can see how great this resolution is, by the way, right? Okay, and then fusion, rainbow. There's a rain and rainbow. Red hot. And blue red. That's one I used to use a lot, but I'm starting to get into where I like these monochrome ones because I almost think they show the image better. What do you guys think? I kind of like the fusion one. What do you guys think? Now, you know what? Let's go to this. Okay, black and white. That's pretty black and white, right? Pretty simple to see the difference. Okay, now see that image? I'm going to take a picture. Okay, now I'm going to go to menu. I'm going to go back to this thing, and I'm going to go to capture settings, and then I'm going to go to super resolution, turn it off. Then go back to the yeah, you know what? I think that did add a lot of clarity, right? Okay, I'm going to take a picture here. Yeah, I think that definitely helped. Okay, we're going to go back again. See, that's what I'm seeing right now, right? Get an idea what that looks like. Whoops. And then we'll go back to here, capture settings, super resolution, turn it back on. Oh, what did it say? Only supported in thermal mode and auto level and span. Okay, well, it's on, so it just gives you that warning. So I guess we got everything set up right. And instead of going back arrows, I can just hit home. Yeah, that actually, I'll take another picture. But yeah, that actually looked like it made a difference. And just to show you, you know, you can turn it in this format if you like this, okay? But, you know, for my format of my image I'm taking pictures of, I think the other one works better. All right, just let you get a close-up of the camera. Now this camera is all rubberized. These are kind of plastic, or yeah, kind of hard plastic buttons, but everything else is all soft rubberized. Then our tripod, and then there's a label here, so obviously that feels slick and, you know, smooth. But yeah, and then you got your wrist strap. So yeah, I like this design. It feels solid, good construction, and I like it. And then turn it off, just hold it down. All right, guys, so here's the application, and I've already connected. I turned on the hotspot on the camera, and then I had to say join, and I used my camera on the phone to join that. All right, guys, so I went to settings, right? And then I go to connections to join a hotspot. That's what I found easiest. And then I get this. Then I go to my phone and I say, yeah, I want to connect. Now it's already connected, but I would say connect and then point my camera at that, and then it connects. Once I'm connected, it stays connected, so that's really nice. Okay, so now, all right, so now that I'm connected, I can go to the camera, I can go to files, and here's a bunch of files I have. I go to albums down here. All right, guys, so then settings, and I can change things here, okay? And look, you got a user manual, so that makes it handy. And I go back to the device, and here's an information thing, okay? And finally, we go back to the camera. Okay, so here's the thing I just scanned. Well, all right, so guys, what I'm looking at right now is what's on my camera. So let me go backwards, see? I'm going back. I can just hit the home button, and then I can, whoops, I go up and look at the board, and that's what it's looking right now. I turned it off, turned it back on, so it's just starting to warm up. So yeah, there's how easy it is, and that's what it would look like on your phone. You got your measurements. Now look, you got the same measurements, palettes, same palettes. Image, you know, so it's all the same stuff. It's just repeated on this videotape. If I want to start recording, I'm on video right now. I can just start recording. I can stop it. I go back to camera. Okay, back to camera, and then I just take a picture like that. So you got all the same settings. Okay. So Fusion, all the different setups. So there you go. The app works easy. So, what do you think of this thing? This thing is awesome. The flashlight, the camera, the thermal camera, USB-C port, rubberized texture, robust design, and a really nice case to put it all in. And small, even though it's got a big screen, it's still small enough I stick it in my bag when I take to work. So if I need a thermal camera, we have one, but this was better. This is super nice. So, all right, guys, what do you think about this? Hey, first of all, if you like the video, if you watch, go down there and like the video. That really helps the channel, helps this video out a lot. Share it, that kind of thing really does help a lot. Okay, free way to support the channel. And then I want to give 2 thumbs up to Danny, my team member on YouTube, and the rest of my YouTube members. Big thumbs up, guys. And my Patreons. Really appreciate everybody that supports the channel. All you guys watching the videos. Thank you. And I'd like to hear your comments. If you guys watch the other videos I've done, done a lot. This is like the 4th camera I think I've done. So in a row. So let me know what you think. Which one did you like? What do you think of this one? So I'll put the links down below, and I get a little kickback. It's free to you guys to use, doesn't cost you anything extra. I appreciate using those. Another way to support the channel. So subscribe if you haven't done so. That's awesome too. So guys, what do you think? Looking at PCBs, being able to zoom in. Now, looking at, like, let's say if you're out camping or something, you wanted to look at things in the night, see animals. I think pretty much any of these cameras with this resolution would be awesome, So I think that's the easy part of what these cameras do. But just having this a standalone thing where you're not fussing and putting it on a phone or something, or I don't know, the pit scripts have kind of a small screen. So I really like this guy. It's been fun using. So thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate your comments. Oh, and there's a super thank you button down there. Buy me a cup of coffee, a beer maybe. Appreciate that. I need to haven't done rant for a while. You guys want to rant? I got some things to rant about, but let me know. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. It's been a long day at work, and I just had to redo this video again because the last one was, anyway. So thumbs up if you liked it, okay? Appreciate it. Thank you. We'll see you next time. Probably another thermal camera.